Good morning and welcome back, everyone. This is going to be just one of the three sessions that are going on right now for the Diamond sponsor Vendor Hall sessions. Today with me in this room here, I have Tanya Lee, and she is the manager with Evans Care of Evans Consoles, and she is going to be doing a presentation called Your 911 Environment, the Good, the Bad, and the Dirty. I didn't mean to say it like that, but... Thank you very much once again for being a Diamond sponsor of the conference, and take it away.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm actually at the Denise Amberly Foundation office today. I'm not coming at you live from my daughter's bedroom, and I promise I will not cry during this presentation, so everyone can just rest assured that I'm good to go today. So I'm excited to talk to you about your 911 environment. I don't know if all of you have actually heard me do this presentation at our last Dare to Be Great conference, but I did switch this up a little bit to address some other issues outside of what I talked about last time. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background on me. I started working in the medical field a little longer than I care to admit. So I'm just going to say that I used to work in the medical field. So I do have a passion for clean environments. And I feel really, really strongly about this, especially for all of you. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And first, I want to know what your reaction is to this photo here. This is a photo that a very good friend of mine that you probably all know, Adam Tim, sent to me. He and I kind of collaborated a little bit together early on in this crazy pandemic, and we started talking about 911 environments. And so we came up with this, and I just want to know, how does this photo make you feel? Does it make you feel calm? Does it make you feel like you're totally good to go and you're ready to sit down at a desk or a room that looks like this and do a great job? Because it stresses me out. And I have major OCD. And I know that if this was my work environment, I would not be able to function to my absolute maximum. And I'm liking the comments coming through here. Chaos, run, crazy, anxiety, full-on anxiety. Exactly. And Sarah, I did not take a picture of your house. I've seen your house. It's beautiful. So honestly, this is what it's going to be like today, is talking about how your environment can impact you. And your environment is actually a lot more than just the room or just your desk. Your environment can encapsulate a lot of other things, including your emotional and your mental health. So if you are distracted, if you feel on edge or checked out and it's hard to focus, it could be because of your environment. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about your physical environment, what impact your physical health, what factors impact your mental and emotional health, and why this all matters. The average person lives and works in an environment that sabotages his or her best efforts at every turn. You can accomplish more, quicker, and with ease if your environment literally nurtures and supports you. And my guess is that the majority of you are not working in an environment that nurtures and supports you, because I come into centers all the time. I see what you're working in. I see the filthy, disgusting work surfaces, keyboards, and then all of your equipment completely full of dirt, dust, and debris that is definitely not nurturing your environment. So we're going to talk about that. Your environment is composed of more than just a building. It's your physical health, your mental and emotional health. All of these impact your environment and your performance. With your physical health, is this something that's going to impact your physical health? Could it make you get sick? Could it spread germs, diseases, viruses? Absolutely. And yes, those are fingernails. And yes, we see that more often than not. And yes, it's disgusting. Your mental and emotional health. I know that has really been a very big focus on this conference, which I really love to see because more and more needs to be focused on that and what you can do to help yourself with this very, very difficult job. I like how there's a battery there. None of us would let this happen to our phone. If it does happen to my phone, I have crazy, crazy anxiety. And so you just need to think about it in terms of yourself as well. You don't want this happening to you either. You can get drained by call after call and trauma after trauma. I don't know how you guys do that. I don't know how you can sit at work every day for 10, 12-hour shifts and constantly be onslaught by really everyone's worst day of their life, honestly, but that's your normal everyday life. You have to know yourself and you have to be conscious of what you need to take care of you. And we have so many tools that have been given to us already in this conference, and I know that there's going to be a lot more that come out, but I just encourage all of you to take a look at all these presentations. If you haven't had a chance to watch them live, there's so many out there about how you can take care of yourself. So I want you to focus on that. So lighting, acoustics, and your ergonomics, all of those things play a really big role. I've talked about these in length in my last presentation. I'm just going to touch on them really quick. Why does lighting matter? Honestly, because one of the biggest impacts lighting will have on you is your fatigue levels. Your lighting will impact your blood pressure. It can impact your personality. It can make you more aggressive. It can cause a lot of sickness as well. And thus you will have a higher call-in rate of people being sick. So you need to pay attention to that. Matko's presentation yesterday, even though the audio didn't work and we had some issues, he is going to record his presentation and he will touch on that a lot. He's kind of the expert at Evans when it comes to these types of things. We can do a lighting study in your center to help you figure out how better to help your situation, what can be done now to make it a little bit better environment for you. How can your acoustics impact you? Again, it's the same thing. Your acoustics can cause a lot of fatigue and exhaustion. And again, it's going to impact your performance. There was a study done where it showed that once you're distracted, it can take 23 minutes for the average person to regain concentration. Now, I don't really consider you guys dispatchers. I don't think that you are your average person. I think you guys are phenomenal. I know it wouldn't take 23 minutes for you to refocus after you have a distraction or a difficult call, but still, you need to take that into consideration when you have so much going on, so much crazy activity and calls and people talking and coming in and that type of thing. There are things that can help absorb a lot of that noise to give you a little bit more of a break on your fatigue levels. So I just want you to be aware of those things. Ergonomics is another really big deal. We have amazing companies out there that have built 24/7 chairs. I'm actually sitting in one right now because Concept Seating sent Nathan a 24/7 chair since he's been doing so many presentations here from the office, and it is amazing. And it really does make you sit and have really, really good posture, which is going to impact how you do your job. So things that ergonomics will impact: carpal tunnel, eye strain, hip damage, and again, your fatigue levels. So all of these things are going to impact. One of the biggest factors for you guys is your fatigue level, especially those of you guys who are working night shift. So all of these things come into play. I definitely want you to pay attention to those. If we at Evans can help you in any way by doing a lighting study, an acoustic study, giving you advice on how to set up your console, anything like that to help you do your job better, we are here for you and we want to do that. So we're moving on to your physical health, which is one of my favorite things to talk about, mostly because it's what I know the best. I came on to work for Evans about 2.5 years ago, and we started calling this service of Evans Care. And we didn't realize it at the time, but I kind of picked up on it after a few months that Evans cares about you. And we really, truly do. You're taking a look at the picture on the left there. That's a really, really common sight for us when we go into a center. When I come in and visit centers, that's one of the first things that I look at is your equipment, mostly because that is an unhealthy environment for you to be working in. You're breathing in all of that dirt, dust, and debris the entire time that you're sitting at your console doing your job. That's impacting your breathing, your lungs, and it can make you sick, and it will cause a lot of sickness. It's also an environment for germs, bacteria, and viruses to thrive and grow. So especially in this time of living in a pandemic, now more than ever, making sure you're working in a clean and healthy environment should be first and foremost in everyone's mind, especially in the people that are making the decision about how to spend money for your center. And I hear this a lot. We would love to have our consoles cleaned. We would love to have you come in, but we can't afford it. And I honestly want to say, how can you not afford it? Because it's going to help keep everybody healthier. It's going to show people that you care about them, that they matter, what they're doing is important and matters. And also it's going to keep everyone from calling in sick, and you're going to pay a lot less money in overtime and keeping everybody working the shifts that they should be working. So just keep that in mind as you think about, we can't afford this service. You can. And I want to help you in any way possible. But you really, honestly, again, cannot afford to not have this service. And just a quick note on that. Another thing that I hear a lot when we talk about this is we have a janitorial service come in, we're good. Okay, that's great. A janitorial service is absolutely 100% important. Those janitors are not going to come in and spend 2 hours at every single station making sure that it is clean and healthy and all of the dirt and debris are taken off of it. They're not going to do that. They're going to vacuum underneath your chair really quick. They're going to do a quick swipe over your work surface and they're going to call it good. And that's fine because that's actually necessary as well. But what we do is we come in, we're going to take 2 hours. We're going to work on removing all of that dirt, dust, and debris and everything else from your equipment. We're going to be removing all of the food, toenails, fingernails, all of that out of your keyboards, off of your work surface. We touch every surface at least 3 times when we're coming in your center, the monitors, the mice, the work surfaces, the arms of your chairs. We're wiping all of that down and making sure it's all disinfected because that is what's important. So how does Evans Care work? First and foremost, Evans Care is a branch of Evans, but we do service all brands of consoles. So if you don't have Evans consoles in your center, it's totally okay. We are happy to come in and take care of your consoles as well. What we're going to do is if we notice any issues while we're taking care of the consoles, we're going to take pictures of it and leave those with you so that you can reach out to your console manufacturer and they can get in touch with you about any parts or that type of thing that needs to be done for your console. So we come in and like I said, we access one console at a time. It's going to take about 2 hours per console, just depending on how dirty they are. My guys don't like it when I say that it's 2 hours because sometimes it's a lot longer than that, just depending on if we've been in to take care of you or not. They've actually had to spend up to 4 hours per console sometimes, and so they hate it when I say 2, but it's just an average. They're going to go ahead and usually it's a crew of 2 that accesses one console at a time, and they're going to start top to bottom. They're going to remove all of the dirt, debris, that's built up on all of your wires behind your console. They're going to open up the cabinets. They're going to take care of all of the dirt that's being built up in the cabinets on the electrical equipment. They're going to wipe down all of the surfaces that you touch on a regular basis to make sure that they're all disinfected. We're going to clean all of the keyboards, the phones, anything that's on your work surface. We go ahead and wipe down at least 3 times just to ensure that everything is clean and healthy. So let's see here. What did I want? I wanted to, I always forget to say this, but our crews are CGIS certified. They're mission critical environment trained. And if you are an Evans Center, we are also Evans certified. So what that means is that they've been trained in the Evans factory to do installations and to handle any kind of replacements, adjustments, any of that type of thing. They're going to be able to take care of that for you. We can do that for all other brands of consoles as well. We're not certified with any other manufacturer, but they are unbelievably experienced. My guys have been working in this industry for 10 plus years now, and totally capable of handling pretty much anything that you have going on in your center. In addition to the cleaning aspect of what we do, we also do preventative maintenance. How can preventative maintenance impact you? Well, what if you could spot problems before they happen? What if there are issues in the alignment of your console that's causing a breakdown of your console over time because you have somebody sitting at that console 24/7? Things can come loose, screws, hinges, that can impact the integrity of your console, how long it's going to work, how long it's going to last. And these are expensive pieces of equipment. You want to take care of them after you invest so much money in them. And so that's what the preventative maintenance side of Evans Care does. And this is, it's not a separate feature. It can be if needed, but we do this at the same time that we're doing all of the cleaning and all that. And this is what it can help prevent. This is not something that you want to have happen when you are working any call, honestly, but especially those critical calls. You don't want your furniture, your equipment, anything like that failing you at a critical moment. So that's how preventative maintenance can help you. Next, we're going to talk about your mental and emotional health. Your environment actually impacts you more than you realize. A clean and healthy environment impacts you in a more emotional way than you realize. I love this quote. The objective of cleaning is not just to clean, but to feel happiness living within that environment. And that's what I really love that Evans Care does for you, is hopefully makes you working in a healthier and cleaner environment, but also makes you happier. And I hear this constantly as we come into centers. I was just in a center recently, and the feedback from it was really, really amazing. Actually, some of the dispatchers wanted to know if the crew did something special to their monitors because they were brighter. And I really loved that. Only because we don't do anything amazing to the monitors other than just wipe them down and clean them. But it made a difference to the people that were doing this hard, difficult job every day. And it made them happier. It made them feel like they were valued. And they were happy to sit down at a clean console to do their job. So a clean environment actually does create happiness, which I love. So here's something to consider, and hopefully I can figure out how to play this. I just want you to watch this video real quick, and then you can tell me what you think.
Why is that a sound? Why is that a sound? Can I help? Oh.
All right, this is not playing super well.
Look at how when we go.
Okay. Right.
All right. Well, it's not playing very well, but it's adorable. It's a little girl who's trying to get herself buckled in her car seat, and her dad is asking her, "Can I help you?" And she's like, "Worry about yourself. You worry about yourself." And he's like, "Is there anything I can do?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can worry about yourself." Well, when I saw this video, it made me think of you guys, because you need to worry about yourself first. And I know that that's really, really difficult. Dispatchers are nurturers and caretakers, and you're worried about everyone else. You're worried about the people on the other end of the phone. And then you go home and you worry about your families and your friends, and you're worried about your coworkers. But first and foremost, you need to worry about yourself. And so I just want you to keep that in mind as you do this job. There's so many things that I've already listened to in this conference about how you can take care of you and how you can take care of yourself. And even though it goes against everything in you to focus on yourself, it's really, really important. I listened to Tina DeCola's session yesterday on peer support. I think that if I could be an advocate for anything else other than what I do right now, I think that that would be it. Only because I know in my own personal life the value of knowing somebody actually understands what I'm going through. And no one understands what you're going through better than your peers and sharing your story. I watched a presentation on how to talk to your administration, which when I was watching that presentation, I was thinking to myself, I'm hoping that people are watching this knowing how to go to their supervisor or their administrator and telling them that they want a healthier environment to work in. How to work with difficult people. Halcyona and Sarah touched on this in their presentation in the pre-con. And then you're going to hear from other people today that I know really well, Matt Grogan, Josh Fonseca, and my husband, Nathan, about how to handle a critical event. Take advantage of the technology that's out there. There's a lot of vendors on here that are talking about the latest and the greatest in technology. Don't be afraid of the changes that are coming and the changes that are happening right now. Embrace that, learn the new technology, and hopefully it will help you with your emotional, mental stability. I watched a session on how to self-care during a pandemic, and I think that that is really, really important now more than ever. I don't think that we all sometimes realize the impact that this is having on all of us. Being so isolated from people, friends, families. Some of us are getting sick and not being able to be around people for a while. This is going to have a huge impact on the whole entire world, but it's going to have a huge impact on you because you're going to have to deal with all of these people that are going into depression and, not themselves, but you're also experiencing it too. So take advantage of all of the tools that are being given to you right now. And lastly, how to deal with negativity in your center. That's a really big one. I know that that's probably outside of a dirty environment. I know that dealing with difficult people or negativity, I can totally understand how that impacts you in this world today, especially in 911 when you are constantly onslaught with call after call after call, and also the people that aren't taking it seriously and calling you for things that they really shouldn't be calling. But just, again, utilize your toolbox and know that it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay for you to not reach out for help when you need it. And I know how difficult that is. I know that you all have to experience PTSD on a daily basis from the calls that you hear and just knowing the things that happen. You see the worst of the worst out there in the world, which is devastating. And just know yourself and be aware of yourself and know if you're not okay, that you need to say something. And I know that all the outside people, yes, it is their responsibility to ask you if you're okay. But if you're like me, if somebody asks me if I'm okay, I always tell them, yeah, I'm doing great. I just recently had an experience, and Nathan can attest to this. I was experiencing some PTSD from a really, really long time ago. I didn't know that I didn't know that that's how PTSD looked, but I knew that I wasn't okay. And I struggled for a couple of weeks wondering what was wrong with me. I felt like something was wrong. I felt like I was going crazy. And finally, I ended up having to just look at Nathan and tell him, I'm not okay. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was the matter with me. And if that's going on with you, just know that it is your responsibility to reach out, and it's your responsibility to know when you're not okay and to tell someone. Don't suffer in silence. It's okay to reach out for help. Give yourself permission to unplug, regroup without feeling guilty. And again, you can't be there for others if you don't take care of yourself first. So I know that there's been a lot of people that have elaborated on this a lot during this conference. I think it's probably one of the most valuable things for you all to hear and to take note of, but I just wanted to touch on that a little bit as well. So I wanted to wrap all of this up for you as, why does your environment matter? Well, your environment impacts everything. Your mental and emotional health work hand in hand with your physical health. So it's not just one or the other. And if you're working in a center that has a really negative vibe, that's something that needs to be addressed. That's something that you can, I don't know, even create a committee. It's not going to cost any money. It's you guys coming together and saying, we need to change the environment that we're working in. We need to be a team, even if you're not best friends while you're working together. When you're working in that center together, you are part of a team, and you're not going to like everybody on your team, but you can do things to make your environment a better one. And when Adam, Tim, and I were doing our little mini sessions, a lot of things came up, a lot of really great ideas. One of them was just leaving notes for each other. And I really love that idea. I love getting notes. I love somebody telling me that I'm doing a great job. And it literally will take you 20 seconds to leave somebody an encouraging note, or just saying, hey, how are you doing? I'm checking in on you. On the other aspect, your physical health, your physical environment, all of those things impact your job, impact what you do. So yes, your environment, your dirty, disgusting environment is going to impact your mental health. It's also going to impact how you do your job. So all of these things matter. Your environment matters because of the job that you do. And I talked about this earlier on in the conference. There was a lot of things that I left out that I really wanted to say, but more than anything, what my message was is that you really do matter. And I believe that more than anything. It's why I love working in this industry, because I want to be an advocate for all of you. I want to create a healthy environment for you. It's kind of like my way of taking care of you guys. And if I could do it for free, I would. And I'm sorry if my boss is watching, but I really would. So whatever I can do to help you create that healthy environment, that's what I want to do, because your environment impacts how you are able to handle these critical events. I listened to Matt Grogan of the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue talk about the night of the Mandalay Bay shooting and how it impacted them, how their center worked together, and how things could have been different in their center to make it go a little bit easier for them. Again, this Denise Amber Lee, she impacts my life every day, and it impacts your life every day if you remember her legacy and remember how important it is, the job that you do. But your environment needs to be the most ideal environment possible for you to do the most ideal job possible, for you to be able to do it to the best of your ability. So that's why your environment matters. I shared this with all of you earlier on this week. If you weren't able to watch it, I wanted to share it again because you are one person, but you impact so many lives by what you do. And it's like a ripple effect. You are the drop that happens in the water, and then you see those ripples get bigger and bigger and bigger, and more of them will show up each time that the water drops in there. You touch so many lives every time that you answer the phone. So I just wanted to leave this thought with you. When you create a difference in someone's life, you not only impact their life, you impact everyone influenced by them throughout their lifetime. No act is ever too small. One by one, this is how we make an ocean rise. You do a really difficult job, and I am dedicated to helping you achieve the best of your abilities at your job by making sure that your environment is a good one, making sure that the equipment, the console that you're sitting at, helps you do the job to the best of your abilities. As usual, I talk way too fast because I'm way too nervous, but I do want to take questions. I see a comment on there. Gary said, oh, I just lost it. Hold on just a second here because I really loved his comment. Nathan has my computer set up to be some fancy 2-screen. I don't know how you guys do this. I think I figured it out. I just really wanted to read Gary. Oh, Gary said, Tanya and her team at Evans Care are awesome. Did a great job for us. Oh, thank you, Gary. And Latoya, hi. Absolutely, they are amazing. So I would really like to take some questions now. If you guys have anything that you'd like to ask me, I'm open for questions.
Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, please use the ask a question. If you look down where it says say something nice, there's a plus. You can click on that and add a question, only so that we can keep them set aside there so that when people come back in to watch this on demand, they'll be able to look in there and see all of those questions. Looking at the polls here really quick, we have you ever had your consoles cleaned? 18 were yes, so 64.3%, and then 10 votes for no. I put one in at the very end, a poll, just because I was curious myself, and it was what shift do you work? And I added in my own little flair, I guess.
I like the dispatch zombie squad.
Yes, that's what we called ourselves when I worked midnight shift. Yeah, morning delight, dispatch zombie squad, and swing shift style. And it looks like most of the people that are in here right now, 78.6%, are morning delight. The reason I put that in there was because you were talking about lighting and everything, and how it affects us and stuff. And I remember working midnight shift. I worked midnight shift all the time except for one stint of mornings when I went to being a supervisor, when I got promoted. It was 3 months, and it was hell for me because I was always midnight shift. But working on midnights, we always had the lights off. So all you could see when you walked in was the glow of the screen. Yep. And I wish back then that they had, and maybe they did have them at the time, I just couldn't afford it. But they're, what is it called? It's like a blue coating or something.
Blue screen glasses.
Yeah, so because I would get headaches and stuff, but it was better for us, at least, to have those lights off and working that way. In a sense, they did, for some of the applications that we were using, they had a night mode, so that made it way easier.
Yeah. I am really, really happy to see on this poll that nobody voted what does that mean about having their consoles cleaned, because I would be like, I need to start over. Sorry.
few minutes left. Let's go through this again. Let's look at those keyboards that have all of the nails in there. Oh, my. Okay, so right there in the comments, Megan Kewen, no lights ever. That's my homegirl. Her and I worked at Allegan County Central Dispatch together, and we actually are friends since we were little kids. We grew up together, went to school together, and then years later, who would have thought we would have ended up working together? Megan was actually my supervisor for a long time, and just like she said, on midnights, no lights ever. And then when the lights came on, when morning shift came in, it was like
So bad. That's so
yes,
bad for you.
yes,
I would want it that way too. I like things cozy. I like things, dark and that's how I would probably want to work. And so I know that that's the norm more than not, but there are things that you definitely need to be conscious and aware of about how you can create natural lighting in your center. It's going to cause less fatigue. It's going to cause less headaches. All of those things can really, really impact how you're doing your job. And I mean, nobody wants to be even sleepier than we already are. So coffee is not the answer.
So there's a couple of questions that came in. Let's go with this first one here, and it's where all do you service?
I service, well, honestly, Evans is an international company. Evans Care is actually being brought to a lot of different areas of the world, not by me, but by my company. But Evans Care specifically is the entire United States and Canada.
All right, there you go. And then the next one here is, do you have any suggestions on how to keep the refrigerator clean? That's one. And then two, maybe like a process. They are just as nasty as the consoles.
Well, as far as your refrigerator goes, I would just suggest regular cleaning. I've put together some really cute Evans Care kits that come with a little spray bottle of the hydrogen peroxide cleaner that we use. It's a hospital grade cleaner. It's really mild scented, and then there's a microfiber cloth in the kit as well. It's designed for you to be able to use those in between Evans Care cleanings to clean your console between shifts, and just for all of those germaphobes and OCD people that I get to talk to all of the time, who want to keep their areas clean as possible. But you could definitely use this kit for that. But yeah, I mean, even at my house, I need to clean my refrigerator out at least once or twice a month. So I struggle with that in my own house. But yeah, I think it would be really important to at least disinfect the handles, and, besides getting all of the old gross food out of there, a good wipe down every once in a while is definitely necessary. Ray says we call cleaning of the fridge purge day. Yes, I have to do that too.
Now, when you were talking about how often you clean and stuff, I thought you were going to say once or twice a week. I was going to say, damn.
I mean, ideally, if I had the time, I would, but I like everything neat and organized. You know this about me.
This is true. Yeah, this is very true. Yeah. I can't get over some of those pictures. I had to turn away with some of those.
Yeah, you love the fingernail picture.
Yeah, it's just so bad, because all I can imagine is, and it's morning time, but I'm going to say it anyway. All I can imagine is the smell.
Yeah.
It's like, stale Fritos or something. It's just, I don't.
Yeah. In addition to the comments about our monitor, something that we did to make the monitors brighter, which honestly really truly made my day. I screenshotted that and sent it to all of my guys, and it made them super happy too. But in addition to that, my second favorite comment is, once we've come into a center and done all of the servicing, people reach out to me and they're like, I can breathe again, and it smells amazing in here. And we don't use any like heavy scented cleaners. So it's because we took out all of the dirt, grime, debris, food, etc., etc. mice poop. I know it's early, so I can't really talk about all the more disgusting things, but you get the idea.
This evening,
That's right.
After the greatness, we
That's
can
right. I'm so excited about that.
all the other things that you find. For real, mice poop
Oh yeah, that's really common.
keyboards.
More
Just
often than it's inside, like inside the cabinet cavities and behind. But you have all those fans blowing over the mice poop and into your body, which is gross. Sheila wants to know if I can send a cleaning crew to my house, and I can send the cleaning crew of Riley, Adam, and Noah, and they can all clean.
Yes. So because my friend Megan is in here, and you talk about, I think she knows where I'm going with this, mice poop, minus the poop part. There was a time that we were working together, and we heard something like wrestling around by the garbage can. Like I was on the side that she was on, and another coworker, and I don't remember what we were working on, but over by the consoles where I was at previously, heard something wrestling rather, and go over there, and this mouse like hauls ass, and her and I are like, what? And we're trying to catch it, and the walls part of the walls had like carpet, and that thing was crawling up and was holding on like cliffhanger style, holding on, and we're trying to catch it in this wastebasket, this little small wastebasket, and we turn around because we hear, "Did you guys get it?" And it was one of our coworkers. She was standing on top of like the middle part of where it separates the consoles, and we started laughing because we were like, "How the hell did you get up there? Like, we didn't even hear you get up there."
That's funny.
We did catch it though, and she had it in the can, and we took it out back, and it ran and stuff. But
okay, good. I'm glad you saved it. I saw somebody say something about finding a dead frog, and that's really, really common here in Florida. Mm-hmm. Some of our more southern states, because we even have this happen in our house, but they'll hop in and then find a place and die. So we take care of dead frogs all the time in centers like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Kimber says we recently had a bed bug and snake infestation.
Who said that? Yeah, Kimber, you need to call me, because bed bugs are nothing to mess with. We've actually had to take care of that a few times, and that can get out of hand quickly.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Raymond says we named ours Ben.
Oh. I'm so sorry it went so fast. Did I throw everything off for you?
No. This is good. We're having this conversation right here.
Okay, good.
This is excellent. Everybody is in here. We're going back and forth. They're telling their stories. This is what's good as well.
Okay.
Carrie says here we had a dead bird in the cabinet.
That's not something I've seen. Dead mice, dead snakes, snake skins. We see that a lot. Lizards. Frogs.
This is pretty interesting. Like, I don't think I've heard this before.
And yes, Tracy, a few times. I mean, once a bed bug gets into a center, it multiplies by like 1 billion, because bed bugs feed off of dead skin cells. And that just naturally happens. Like when a person's sitting at a desk, we shed our skin cells constantly, which I really try hard not to think about most of the time. But that, that is how those thrive and grow and multiply. So for real, you need to call me.
So really quick, how many of you are watching this live from your center? That's one. And two, with everything that we're talking about right now, how many of you just started looking around at your keyboards and mice, and where you're sitting and thinking, shit, what is going on? What do I have around me?
My inbox better be full from all of you people if that's the case.
Oh, look at
Oh
here.
no.
Comments. People are looking. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I
See
would
my
have
email
done-
right there? You guys better be emailing me.
dude. I would be doing the same thing if I was watching this right now. I'd be like, oh my god, looking around, and looking at the person next to me. And if they had food, like right when they're about to eat, I would say, hey, you better put that shit away. Don't here because this person had snakes and bed bugs, and all these other people are having like ravens and all this other stuff. Yeah. Oh, another question came in. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna hit this here, and it says our center is on a raised computer floor. Do you have any recommendations on cleaning the space under the floor? How often? How thoroughly, etc.?
Oh, that's a really good question. We do that. We clean under raised floors. We actually do wire management services as well. But what we do is we just pop up a couple of those tiles and we can vacuum under the whole entire raised flooring that way by just popping up tiles in strategic places. And that does actually really make a huge difference in your air quality. I recommend having that done every 6 months. And if that's not possible, at least every year. So yeah,
Go.
that is definitely something we do.
And if you don't know, now you know. Yeah, check it out. In the comments, everyone is.
I know. Feeling nauseated and itchy.
Are you watching my friend Megan? Are you watching and are you feeling itchy as well? There you are. I know a little bit. I was looking down, and
you need Evan's care to come and take care of your office, Ricardo.
Maybe, or hook me up with one of those up and down raising consoles. We can do that. Let's see. We've got Kristen here saying, I am literally filling out a purchase order right now for new wireless keyboard, mouse, and both in all positions. Megan says, save me, please. So much fun. I love the fact that this platform as well, especially, is real time. So everything that we're saying, the only delay is the amount of time that it takes somebody to type in a response.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just coming in and we're just going back and forth. And let's see. Cherie says, I ran and got a crap ton of Clorox wipes and currently
cleaning the desk. I feel like I need another shower. I'm sorry. Why did you have me do this so early in the morning? People are probably grossed out.
But this is good. Because you know that everyone who is on here and those who end up watching this on demand will also end up spreading the word to the people here in the center and say, okay, either you got to watch this or, you know, they're just going to basically tell them to make sure to clean up after themselves. You know, a lot of times people won't say anything. Like I've never said anything until I found a fork underneath my keyboard once. And Megan, I'm pretty sure you were working on radios when I came to Lean. Lean is NCIC area where we look up, you know, warrants and driver's license and stuff. And there, I picked up my keyboard and I was like, look, I was like, somebody left an effing fork right here. I was like, what the hell? All I could think was that they had a high priority call that happened, and see, Megan says barf. The person, you know, during that high priority complaint had the fork there. So yeah. Cassie says, I was just able to log in. Maybe glad I missed it.
Rewatch it, please.
Yeah, no, excellent session. This is an excellent session to go back in on. We're just kind of telling some some war stories here with stuff that you find in your center and how to keep it clean. Because man, there were some times I remember being in dispatch where, and especially when, you know, you've gone the whole season and it gets back to wintertime and you turn on that heater for the first time, like that stinks. You know, there's like a burning smell in there. But there were a few times that I remember that we would be sitting there and thinking, I wonder what's coming through the vents, because a lot of us were getting sick and stuff, and you know, we got to work, so we're in there and we would just be cleaning like crazy, cleaning and or we would tell people, don't come over here, just say what you got to say.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that great. And then what are you doing here? Like, well, I got to come to work, man. I have to work. I can't just call off because then someone's
Right.
going to get forced over. Everyone's short staffed. So we would just be cleaning like crazy and, maybe have Dayquil head because we're trying to stay good. Kimber says last location we had mold. So
Yeah, that's a
see?
really, really big problem too. If you have that, you're definitely having really, really low air quality, and people are definitely getting sick because of that.
Yeah, for sure. And then Cassie here, in our old center, we had a sewage flood under our raised floors. Luckily, before my time, and we have a new center now.
Oh,
So
thank
that kind of goes
goodness.
back to what. Let's see, who it was Ken, right? It was Ken's question. Talking about that. Let's see. We used to have carpet walls. When they took it off, there was mold on the walls, and they just painted over it. Oh,
Eesh.
see, that's another thing, especially if you've got people. Well, I'm not sure how it affects everyone, but me, I have minor asthma.
Mhm.
So whenever
I
I
do
was in
too.
an area where there happened to be mold or something, I would know because my breathing would start messing up.
Yep. I'm the same way.
Hmm.
Shout out to Tim at Illinois for signing a contract with Evans Care. He said that up there in the comments a little bit ago, and thank you for the support.
All right. Yeah. Excellent. Well, we are going to go into the wrap up of this here. Thank you so much, Tanya, for not only for Evans Consoles for being, excuse me, a diamond sponsor for Dare to Be Great too, but also for what you do with Evans Care and spreading the word and everything, doing these sessions and stuff because it's definitely needed. People need to know how this stuff works, how you do what you do, and how things affect them. We don't always know, and some might not, but it's always good to have these to learn so much more. And everyone's in the comments. Awesome presentation. Thank you.
Thank
again
you guys.
so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Ricardo, and thank you everyone who came in here to listen to me. I appreciate it a ton. I'm here for you to help you, so please reach out for anything.
And we are going to be talking, Kent says, very enlightening. And
Frightening.
Tonight, tonight, this evening, I believe it's from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time after the greatness for day 2 live broadcast. It's going to be on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Tanya will be joining us, Leah and I, and we're going to be recapping the day's events as well as talking about what is going on, new stuff with Evans Consoles, Evans Cares, and we will be talking more about the stuff we saw and get deeper into the shit. We'll get more into it.
Don't.
Yeah. Oh, like Gary says, #mixer.
I
Yeah.
know. I want to send him something just so that he actually has a mixer.
Yes. Yeah. BYOB and join us.
There you go.
There. So
Thank
have
you,
a good one,
everybody.
everyone. We'll be moving to the next session. Will be the gold sponsor vendor session.
I'm a big fan of that one.
Yeah, and that'll be with Nathan Lee of the Denise Amberly Foundation on best practices for QA QI programs. So thank you all very much. Have a good one, and we'll see you here shortly.
Thanks, guys.